Now on to this, the debate over so-called gender-affirming care arriving on Capitol Hill.
This is the mutilation of children, and it should be prohibited by our law.
There are 245 meta-analytic reviews of varied treatment options for depression. Yet when it comes to gender dysphoria, there's only one path currently prescribed to help someone, and that's to become someone else.
Learn the lessons from other medical scandals like the opioid crisis, to recognize that doctors are human too, and sometimes they are wrong.
Director of the Center for Family Studies at Family Research Council, Jennifer Bauwens, testified at yesterday's hearing, and she joins us now. Good morning to you, Jennifer.
Good morning. It's good to be with you.
Well, it's great to have you here. We all watched the testimony throughout the day here on the Fox News channel, and we heard different opinions. We heard from one mother who says, yeah, we're a strong Christian family, but my child, we always knew she really wanted to hang out with the boys. Later in life, she was the only girl on the football team, and she wanted to be, she said she wanted to be a boy. We felt that was comfortable for our family, and she told a glowing story about that child. Then we heard from someone who had to detransition. She had a terrible experience with it because she said she wanted to be a boy. She had operations early, 15 years old, suicidal after that, and she went through her whole experience and how terrible it was. So we heard both sides yesterday. What was your message and what was important to you? What was the message you wanted to get out?
I think the most important thing that we need to look at here is we're talking about kids, and we don't have room to get this wrong. We need to have the best scientific studies to support any kind of practice that involves one, social transition, which would change a person's psychology and their developmental process, and we don't know what effect that has on the long-term outcomes for kids. Two, we don't know the long-term effects of some of these drugs. We know some of the effects that are very bad for people's physiology, but most importantly, we really need to have the best quality research, and we don't have that with this particular, I say, quote unquote, intervention, because it's really at the experimental stage. I made a list of research questions that are unanswered, that are really questions that should be answered at the very beginning of any kind of intervention. And here we have unanswered questions that are really basic, like why are young girls identifying with gender dysphoria when it was typically young men? And we could go on and on, but here, the basic fact of the matter is we're using a very invasive practice without good intervention or good research. And the compassionate thing to do is actually take a step back and look at the research. Whether you agree with this ideologically or not, the research is the most important missing element in this practice.
Jennifer, if we take a step all the way back, one of the terms used is gender dysphoria, and it seems like people on both sides of the take further action argument kind of agree on that being some sort of psychosis or state of mind. Can you explain like where the entire field is on that and what your recommendation is on that?
Right. So in most cases, when we have someone who's presenting with a diagnosis, we actually look for ways and multiple ways to treat that. We don't just, I use the term in the hearing, a monopoly. So right now, we're seeing a monopoly on gender-affirming care, that it's the only way to help a kid. And this is bad practice. So.
Yeah. Jennifer, we appreciate your take and coming on the program. This is definitely one of the top issues of our time. We really appreciate you coming on this morning.
Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me.